It's Red Stick Mirage. I'm back. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. And what we're going to do is have some Midnight Mirage mental management. We'll just talk about psychological health, having a good attitude, accepting what we control and what we don't control, and basically being at a psychological, emotional, and spiritual state in your everyday life so you can achieve what it is you're supposed to achieve. We all have plans, objectives, goals, and they must be confirmed. They must be accomplished. So, understanding that having a good attitude is very, very important. A lot of us may hear that term attitude, but basically your attitude is going to be your internal temperature, how you perceive things, your casual thoughts, your casual emotions, basically that lens that you look to see into the physical world, the way you see other people, the way you see life experiences, when you receive information from various mediums and medias. In other words, your outlook overall in life. And, when it boils down, it's basically going to be favorable or unfavorable. You got the polarity of positive outlook versus a negative outlook. So the truth of the matter is that really when we get into this worrying, anxiety, depression, a lot of it is because we have a particular negative attitude and an unfavorable outlook on life, on ourself, on a situation, on another person. For some reason, there's an unfavorable or a negative outlook because of, just being all the way real with you, a certain feeling that we have that really is part of our physical existence. So if we can understand that we have the power to control how we want to respond to certain feelings and thoughts we have, okay? So you have that much power and you have that much control over the situation. So there will be times in life where, you'll have occurrences or circumstances happen. And, if they're negative or unfavorable, it can put you in a, poor or sour psychological or emotional state. But the best thing to do when you have those types of experiences is to pause, do your best not to respond or react, and just observe the situation at the moment. Observe yourself. Observe the thoughts that you're having in that particular moment. Observe the emotions that you're having, almost like they're on a computer screen or a TV screen. So imagine when you in certain situations and instead of you just reacting and responding and being impulsive, almost like an animal would, you have that ability to slow down time almost and observe your own thoughts and emotions. And then you make a higher mind, higher conscious, spiritual, intuitive choice and decision from that higher state of evaluation versus you immediately responding from that carnal, reptilian, animal, instinctual, physical impulse that we have. And usually when we respond in a negative way to something, it's really because we haven't taken the time to be patient and allow some of those, for that temporary moment, we'll call them unfavorable thoughts and emotions, to allow them to fully filter through and pass through. Because there's nothing wrong with, let's say, evaluating or seeing some bullshit is some bullshit. And if it got you feeling messed up, you know what I'm saying, and some of your thoughts may be fucked up and you kind of in a negative state, there's nothing evil about experiencing that for that moment. We all do. All I'm saying is that we actually do have the power, though, to control and choose to respond to that circumstance in a higher way. All right. And it's something that it takes patience, time, practice, and it's something you work on every day. This is also medicine I'm taking myself. So this is something that we all have to, acknowledge and accept about our lives, because the truth is that all of us have made mistakes and errors. And a lot of these mistakes and errors were made from our own poor judgment, from us making the wrong decision. So you also have to understand the factor of we have to learn to basically forgive ourselves. It's like that T.I. song, I still ain't forgave myself. Like, we in the past, some of us have done things that, maybe when you were younger or you didn't have as much knowledge and wisdom and understanding that you may have now that you're older, You made certain choices back then in your past, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. We made certain choices in the past that basically put us in a, grimy, compromised situation in the future. But you may have not known when you were younger that making that choice at that space and time was going to unfold in a negative or unfavorable way as you got older in your life. And when you're getting older, you're going to be at a higher mind. You're going to make choices at a better, from a better position. But you're going to have this thing from the past that's following you from a poor choice that you made when you were young. And what you're going to experience is when you get older and you're going to evaluate your life, you're going to look at the space and time that you're in and some of the challenges that you may be having at that point in time. And you're going to realize that some of this is coming from old poor choices that I made when I was younger. And what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to accept that these poor choices were made, and you're going to have to forgive your young self or your old self or your lower self for that poor choice that it made. And through that acceptance and that acknowledgement, it will make it much easier to manage those, we'll say, negative or unfavorable thoughts and emotions that you experience in life that come from worry, anxiety, and depression over past, old choices that were made, certain errors and, mistakes that you made that got you in a compromised position today. Forgiving yourself for that, and really moving on, letting go of it, and just forgiving yourself for it, man. That's what it is. Like that inner energy, that whether you call it the soul, your spirit, that pure part of you that really is going through this life experience and using this physical body and this physical personality through the ego to have the experience. But when we use these vague terms like a spirit or a soul or energy that's within you, it's not something you can touch. So I'm not going to even sit here and bullshit you, like it's this, direct thing you can do to interface with it. What it is that you have to live it and you have to be it. It's not like your soul and your spirit, your inner energy. It's not like a device you can go and pick up. Like, how you may be in your room and your cell phone is on the counter and you walk to the counter and you pick up the phone. You start to, interface with it. You using the device, and then you may put it down and walk away. Your soul or your spirit, it's not a device, like it's not a physical object you can go pick up and wield like that. So what it is you have to be it. You have to be it. And really just through having that attitude, you're going to forgive yourself, and you're going to do all the things that's necessary in the present day to evolve your life and move yourself forward, to clean up whatever mistake or error you made. And you're going to be patient, and you're going to get over it. You're going to be good to go. So a lot of this anxiety and worry that comes from lack of controlling the nervous system, lack of patience, and having a poor attitude. That's really where a lot of this nervousness, anxiety, and worry comes from. All right. Another thing important is that in this life is a teamwork sport. Let me say that one more time. Life is a teamwork sport. I don't care what it is that you on this earth to do. You are going to need other people to help you do it. It is a team effort. So yes, you may be the Michael Jordan of your life. You may be winning all the slam dunk contests. You may be getting all the endorsements. You in multiple all-star games consecutive. You averaging 38 points a game, 37 points a game. I'm talking about like that, that 88, 89 Jordan, But until you can accept that I need help, the pieces that are around me, the other men and women around me in my life, I have to figure out the value that these people have, what they bring to the table, and make all this fit together like a beautiful symphony. Like I'm a conductor, and all the different sections of the orchestra are playing the instruments to where it makes this one beautiful sound. Until you have that type of mentality and understand that I'm not going to reach the pinnacle or the zenith of my success until I can incorporate other people in my life, until I learn how to be a team player, until I learn how to see the value that other people bring to the table and how we all complement each other and how everybody wants to, be successful in life. But it's easier if we work together. Until you have that type of team mentality, leadership, championship mentality, dynastic mentality, empire mentality, until you have that, you're not going to really manifest your biggest goals, that main objective you have. You're not going to be able to do it because it's not going to be a one-man sport. And that's going to be the problem. And a lot of brothers, this is something that you all going to have that spiritual one-on-one moment with yourself, looking in the mirror, because our fathers didn't tell us this. And a lot of the other men around us didn't tell us this. And they also didn't figure this out to where they were able to do something on a bigger empire level, because they now know how to work with other men and they can decrease the ego. Because all of us have an ego. All of us have an individual self. And all of us may see ourselves in a high point of view. In other words, everybody think they that nigga, right? But if you don't see how working with somebody else so we can all be that one nigga, then you're not going to ever really, really get where it is you're trying to go in life. I see it happen all the time. People that I've, known in my personal life and, through indirect experiences, especially when it comes to the business world. If you brothers don't know how to, decrease the ego, learn how to work with other men, take what you're good at, take what these other men are good at, and everybody put it together. And we all work to get something bigger. Until you get that mentality, you're going to be like that Jordan in the late 80s. You're going to have all these individual awards. Everybody screaming your name. You know what I'm saying? You looked at like, yeah, you that guy. But when it comes to, late May, going into June, you going home because you're getting put out by the Detroit Pistons, who are playing a team game. The Detroit Pistons were better than the Chicago Bulls in the 80s. Any true basketball historian knows that the Detroit Pistons were better than the Chicago Bulls in the 80s. They were. And this is one of the main reasons why, because psychologically, Michael Jordan didn't understand that yet. And of course, he figured out, late 80s going into the early 90s. By then, he had figured it out. But it took him, it took him like 2 or 3 years. No. Yeah, it was 3 years in a row he lost to Detroit. So until we can see like this is a team game, and I don't give a damn how far you think you are. I don't care what it is you do. You can have a construction business. You can be a barber. You can be a songwriter. You can have a business where you clean swimming pools. I don't care what it is you're doing as a so-called individual American man. If you don't understand that, you're going to have to learn how to work with these other brothers. I'm telling you, man, you're not going to get that ultimate championship. You're just not. So this is just a couple of things I wanted to talk about and, distribute this information. And, you taking it, you do with it what you want to do with it. But, this is just something to think about and something to meditate on. So you all stay tuned for the next one. Salute. I'm out.